Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
First pod of 2025. Wow.
Woo!
A brand new year. A brand new year. We made it. We did
Let's
it.
roll.
Yeah, big time. I want to start the new year by congratulating Dallas Braden for seeing a picture of me on Instagram where one of my buttons looks like it's going to explode and not making a fat joke.
There were several jokes I was prepared to make, but what I'm starting to do in the new year, and thanks for noticing, is I'm starting to not lash out digitally like that.
Okay.
And that's been something that I've been working on very hard this year. Very hard. And I'm glad it's showing. So thank you for acknowledging that. And
No doubt.
I appreciate that.
No doubt, man. You that's called growth. You know, that's called growth. You are.
That's what I'd call that.
All right, listen.
Yeah.
Listen. It was a medium. I'm a large.
Yeah, who's medium? Fucking Ellen's medium? My God. Those fucking buttons were screaming. Those buttons were louder than the fucking band at that wedding. Help! I need somebody. Help! Nuts.
It was a band member's wedding.
No way. Right
yeah,
on.
shout out to Driveways. Yeah. Great band, local band. And they're making it big time right now.
From
Pat,
the garage
Mia,
to the driveway.
Congratulations. Yeah. Yeah.
I respect
I went to the mall. So I didn't know this. It was either, I think my mom probably pointed this out. She was like, not all black shirt, like clothes match. So I had like a black coat, black shirt, black pants. And she's like, not all of that's going to match. Not every shade of black matches. It's like, well, I didn't know that. So then the black shirt that I had didn't match. So I went to the mall last minute to get a shirt and I needed like the slim fit and they didn't have any larges. They had a medium though. And I was like, I think I can get in here. I think I can get in this.
And that's why I left that comment glowing, because it was, now we're finding out it was the confidence that had you glowing. It was really just a lot of confidence there. And I fucking
a lot of confidence. Yeah. Yep. So rock the medium. Buttons were screaming for their lives. But it was a great time. I mean, anytime a New Year's Eve wedding, it's a 6.5 hour open bar reception. The wedding was at 6 p.m. We got to make it till the ball drops.
Open bar started when?
6:15.
Love that.
It was a nonstop open bar. It wasn't like, from 8 to 10 open bar. It was like, wedding's at 6. We wrapped that shit up at like 6:30, dinner, open bar. Yeah. I mean, we were pushing 6 hours of open bar. It was, I had a great time.
Congratulations to your friend.
Congratulations to my shirt for holding on. Congratulations to me and Pat for getting married. There's some Baseball is Dead fans in the house. You know, a lot of Family Feud fans in the house. I'll say that. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. Got a lot of feedback on Family Feud. A lot of people who said, you know what? The MVP of Family Feud, do you know what that happened to BJ Hay?
Who was that?
Dallas when he goes second was. Yep. Anytime that we have Dallas Braden in a position where he's like, whoa, oh, fuck, oh, Matt Olson.
Some enterprising fan should put a best of that together.
That is not cool.
Yeah, listen, it's no, you work well under pressure. You do.
I don't buckle. I'm here. I'll fucking win, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we win more than we lose.
I believe
I
that.
would say
numbers reflect that.
Yeah, and I think that it's very fair to say that you can win more than you lose with the Underdog Fantasy app.
Believe that.
Yeah. When's the playoffs start? Did they already start? They starting? October.
What are you talking about? College football playoffs? Yes.
The NFL playoffs?
No, there's still 1 week left.
1 week left.
One dismal, unnecessary week.
Cowboys making the playoffs this year?
Yep. Fuck your face.
I'm sorry. I'm just asking because I know.
I'm sorry. I'm not doing.
I know something like the Lions, Packers, and Vikings being in the same division. They're very good. I know that. I just found out that Sam Darnold is still a quarterback on a good team. He's the quarterback for is he the Vikings quarterback? No.
He is the Vikings quarterback.
He is.
Yes, he is. Yes.
Yep.
They like him.
I found
Justin
out
Jefferson like him.
Yeah, I found out that Jared Goff, my former teammate, Jared Goff.
Former teammate, Jared Goff.
Yep, is the quarterback of the Detroit Lions. It's not Matt Stafford anymore.
No. Matt Stafford plays football somewhere else.
He went ahead and he won a whole other Super Bowl somewhere else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Matt Stafford did?
Yeah. First year with the Rams.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good for him.
Out here in Hollywood, baby.
Yeah, grew up with Clayton Kershaw. Are you
serious?
Yeah, I don't know if you knew that.
I heard
were they friends when
they
were little?
They're friends. Yep, grew up together. Yep. Giolito, Flaherty, and Freed all went to the same high school as well. Yep.
Stop that.
No, they did.
Right now.
They did. Yep, swear to God. Swear to God, brother.
Man.
Who's the quarterback? What was the other? Who's the quarterback for the Packers?
Jordan Love.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
That's probably who you're thinking of.
Yeah. I mean, I knew he was with the Jets. I knew that. If you named an NFL team, I don't know what my hit rate would be on being able to tell you who the quarterback was.
Commanders.
No idea. RG3?
This is going to be very low. Then your hit rate's going to be very low.
Yeah, we should stop right there. Yeah.
I don't know why. Is he the MVP? Is he very good?
Yes, he's the MVP.
Well, no, RG3 is out of the league.
No, I know that.
Analyst now.
I know that.
He
tweets a lot. But who's the quarterback of the Commanders?
Cam Newton. You blew up his spot. What happened with that, man?
Oh, he had a bad take.
Did he get in your DMs?
I don't know. I don't think he wanted the smoke. Do you see that fat asshole that I smoked on Twitter last night?
No.
Oh man. You didn't see this, Dallas?
No.
See, this is. I feel like people now. I've simmered in my 30s. Yeah, my mid 30s. I've simmered, especially now being a girl dad. I've simmered. But people want to talk about the Rocket. The Rocket used to smoke people all the time. This is just an old school throwback to, someone says something mean to me, but it's like a 3 on the mean scale, but I'll just go 10. Yeah, this individual left a mean comment on my Instagram picture, and it was a mistake. It was a mistake because he's objectively speaking, this guy has to be
fat.
450. He's not. I mean, yeah, he looks like someone who's been eating good over the holidays. I'll just say that. There's plenty of space in between each and every one of his front teeth. Just a very not attractive man. So for him to make a comment about my physical appearance when I'm looking great, minus the size of my shirt.
When I'm looking great.
I was looking great, dude. I mean, I was wedding ready. Don't do it. Don't do it because I can be really mean.
Don't come at me when I'm looking fucking sweet. All right. You better fucking think twice.
You better. I mean, he definitely. There's no way he's not having big time regrets this morning.
Oh man.
He probably woke up and he was like, "God damn," several 100,000 people just saw how fat and ugly I am, and it's because I was rude. I was rude on Instagram. Don't do that. Don't be.
What did he say? I want to know what he said.
All he said was, "Man, you really went downhill since you left Barstool." And that's not even true.
No, stop. Now,
go ahead.
Now I want to hear your response.
So I said, I took his comment and
stop it. That's all.
This is context. It's important context.
All right.
I took his comment and then I screenshotted that and then I took 2 pictures of him being fat and ugly. And I said, if you're getting into the content game and you're bothered by people attempting to troll you, just remember that most of them look like this and you'll be okay. I'm not wrong. I mean, most people, there's no handsome 6'3" guy with a 6-pack who's online, the dude that's swimming in pussy that's online making fun of other men. There's just no one doing that. There's no one doing that. It's people that look like this guy. So for anyone that's new to content and you get mean comments and they bother you, just know 99% of them look like this guy.
You're such a sweetheart.
Well, let's get his Instagram out in the public and let's get people to
go. Let's get his Instagram.
Yeah. Let's do a targeted harassment campaign.
Yeah. But it's just someone had to be made an example of, you know?
Well, I'm sorry that he woke up. He woke up to being absolutely slaughtered. That is, yeah. Because now he's just gonna have people like, you know how that goes. Now it's like you said, it's a sizable chunk of people who are like, you know what? Let me tell this guy to go fuck himself real quick before I go to work.
Right before I go to work at this job that I fucking hate, to sit in this chair that's begging for its life.
Because that's all that's happening now is this dude is just waking up taking fucking strays from people who are like, go fuck yourself. You own a mirror. He's like, I don't even know these people. What is it?
Yeah.
I just
well, now you think twice about being an asshole online. Don't do it. Just
See,
be nice.
That's
Choose kindness, Dallas. That's our motto for 2025. Choose kindness.
And that's what I did digitally. Is it not? That's what I did digitally.
That's what I commended you immediately. It was the first thing I said in 2025.
So that guy, take a lesson. Take a lesson from me, pal. All right?
Mm-hmm.
I did not choose violence, and you ended up catching arrows that may have came my way.
So when you say choose kindness is the new motto, does yours not count because he hit you up on a New Year's Eve photo?
Well, I think I chose kindness by giving advice and comfort to content creators. That's what I did.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. I said,
that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Hey, content creators out there that are from the generation of, being soft a little bit, and you see some mean comments, and I understand what that feels like, being in the content game now for 19 years. Yesterday, the 19-year anniversary of thank you when I started my blog, New Year's Day 2006. So I know what it feels like to be a teenager or a college student who has to read mean things about them on the internet. And I know that hurts sometimes. So I said, just know that they probably look like this. That's what they look like.
Commendable.
Who is the quarterback for the Commanders?
Jaden Daniels.
Never heard that name before in my life.
Well, he's like one of the best quarterbacks ever.
Never heard that name before. Who's the quarterback for the Seahawks?
Russell Wilson.
Geno Smith.
Do you know?
See, I can't even tell. You can't even tell who the.
No,
I can't tell if you're fucking with me or not. I know it's not Russell Wilson.
No, it's Matt Hasselbeck.
I know who Russell Wilson is.
Do you know who Matt Hasselbeck is?
He's older.
Okay, how about this? Matt Hasselbeck and Russell Wilson, both quarterbacks for the Seahawks. One of those guys is still a quarterback in the NFL. Can you name one? Can you name which one?
Russell Wilson was a quarterback for the Broncos, and now he's not, but I don't know where he's a quarterback.
Okay. That's pretty good. He's with the Steelers
that's
this
good
year.
enough. That's good.
The Steelers?
Yeah.
What happened to Big Ben?
No, he's been out of the league for like a half.
He's playing
decade.
quarterback in his backyard now.
Yeah.
All right.
Terry Bradshaw's
basically, like when
also out
Tom
of the
Brady
game.
left the Patriots, that's where my football, like everyone that was the quarterback for their respective team that year, you're still a quarterback in my mind.
Yeah, you heard about Drew Bledsoe's injury, right?
I did. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I didn't miss a single game of Tom Brady's career. After that, I was like, I'm done. I'm back to just baseball.
Probably smart.
Yeah.
Haven't missed much since.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, we haven't missed a fucking thing. There's not much going on.
Yeah. Well, it's the greatest time of the year again because football's back, Dallas. And it's here to stay until February. Yeah. Over 1 million fans across 33 states got in the game last year by making picks on Underdog. Win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on your favorite player's stats like touchdowns, passing yards, and more. Throw another team at me, and I'll tell you the quarterback.
Titans. Dolphins.
Ooh, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Is that his name? Is that a guy?
What's his name?
I mean, that's a man.
And that's
it's not the name of the Dolphins QB, though.
Okay. Who is it?
Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh, concussion guy. Yeah. Yeah, he's
I think he prefers Tua, but yeah.
He might. I thought he was done for the year, is he not?
No, he was back. He's back. He has been back.
He's got to retire, dude. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward, and signing up is even easier. Just head on over to Underdog's simple to use mobile app or underdogfantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code Jared. That's JARED, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. One more team. We can talk baseball.
Joey, you got one for him?
The Dallas Braden Cowboys.
Well, I know it's Dak, but Dak's out for the year, so I don't know who took over for him.
Yeah, it's so hard.
That's fair. That's a backup quarterback question. That's tough.
That is tough. That's kind of unfair.
Eagles.
The Eagles. Is
he's a
Dick Nick still there? Nick Foles.
No.
Okay.
No.
No. Huh? Oh! I know who this is. Is his name also Nick?
No.
No.
Good.
The quarterback for the Eagles. I know this. His last name start with a T.
No, it has a T in it.
Give me the first initial.
Of his first or last name?
First name.
J.
Jalen Hurts.
Nice.
Hey!
Yeah. Jalen Hurts is the quarterback of the Eagles.
On fire. Look at you.
Yep. I mean, does this guy know sports or does this guy know sports? Come on.
Very versatile.
Yep. They call me a one-trick pony. Those people are wrong. We have the 1999 MLB Re-Draft today. Very excited for that one.
Fascinating one.
Yes. The 1999 MLB Re-Draft is on today's show. Family Feud, because it's Thursday. It feels like Monday because of the holiday. Yeah. I don't know. I'm all fucked up today. I didn't do a thing yesterday. I am able-bodied. Justin Havens, by the way, is very sick and doing the pod. Dallas has been sick for 2 weeks doing the pod. Joey is mentally sick. He's still here. And I was completely healthy, completely able-bodied yesterday. I Uber Eats both my meals, breakfast, dinner. Yep. I Uber Eats my coffee. I got 2 cheese omelets for lunch, and I got chicken tendies for dinner. What was that face, Dallas? You got something to say? Jeez. I thought we were choosing kindness in 2025. I thought that was the motto. Are you backing out?
I didn't say anything.
Your face said everything.
It was very
judgmental face that you just made. I thought we were choosing kindness.
I tried to, and I kept it in. Mm-hmm. And now you're pulling it out.
It's about character at the end of the day, right? Just because you don't say it doesn't mean that you're not. And we're about to find out.
We're about to find out where your character's at with this 99 redraft. See where your moral compass is pointing. If that's something.
Well, I mean, there's multiple character clause, guys.
We'll find out. Pal.
There's a couple character questionnaires.
Somebody who doesn't care about that stuff in a fake podcast redraft could really clean up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Obviously, yeah. We'll see.
But who knows what Discord values, and that's really what's most important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Spoken like a true fucking ass kisser.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you won the last one, D.
I did. Did I? I did. I saw.
I think you won it pretty unanimous. Not unanimously, but pretty lopsidedly. Yeah.
Well, I apologize. I'm going to have to go back and late because I was dealing with, I had family that was actually in the hospital. So like, I think when that got posted and stuff, I was in a, not scramble per se, but I was dealing with all that shit going on, getting kids wrangled and shit. But I did see that. So shout out Discord. Thank you for celebrating that, Discord. I appreciate that. I know that pained you.
The Discord now.
No.
You just called Jay Hay an ass kisser, and what are you doing right now?
It's so shameless.
By the way, my family's dying, but I'll take a moment in the midst of all this tragedy to just recognize the Discord for a split second. Good try, D.
Good try. Yeah, he's trying to gain sympathy for the next one and kiss some ass for the future.
No, that's not true. I just wanted to thank them. I hope they had a great new year, and I appreciate them taking.
I would have thanked the Academy. Would it be possible without you guys?
That's all.
I'll never cave. I'll never cave.
They're gonna fucking choke you out without even touching you. The Discord.
Yeah, I told you I'm on week 6 of fighting for my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's sick. Whole house is sick. And maybe Jay Hay's sick of Jim Perry being the 1970 Cy Young. I don't know. We're going to find out later in the show. Bob Gibson, feel like he's going to have a strong case to keep his hardware. But the 1970 Cy Young hindsight is on today's program as well. I am at the point now where I don't want to say I have Roki Sasaki fatigue.
So then don't say it, because let me say
what I'm going to say, because I'm choosing kindness in 2025.
Oh, here we go.
I'm choosing kindness. Right. You're not.
Right. Give it to me.
You're about to say some slanderous shit about the entire country of Japan.
No,
not me. Yes, you were. Yes, you were.
Not true.
Let me stop you right there before it goes too far. Roki Sasaki, he has, what is it, 20 teams? 20 teams that he's not left on red?
Yes.
There's been a handful of teams that maybe, I don't know, would love to have him on their team that he didn't respond to or grant a meeting to, which is, if it were me, I wouldn't take that personally, because
No.
I would rather, this is my take. This is my fluid, I'm working with a take. I would rather know right then and there up front that we don't have a shot than string me along and make me feel like I have a chance when I clearly do not. And these other teams that think that they have a chance right now, do they?
But isn't that
if you're one of the teams that's, what if you're the Padres? Do you feel like you have a chance?
Yes.
Okay.
Because he's entertained you simply. And this is why I wanted to stop you at the fatigue, is because it's understandable why people are like, oh, really? Again, like, I feel like we've got a pretty good idea of how this thing goes. And what I find out is largely that that's not the case, that people have already moved on, because there has been a large assumption across the industry of where he's going to land. Mm-hmm. And so, because that's been the conversation point, I think people have failed to really educate themselves on the understanding of what is happening here, and why I look at this, I think, a little differently and along the same lines as Ohtani making the move that he made when he made the move, foregoing what he did at that point to then earn what he's earned at this point. At 23 years old, this is a dude who is looking about, or is talking about his legacy, what my future looks like. And I got to get over there now. Now is when I have to start this. And that was sort of what Ohtani was thinking, is I know who I am. I need to challenge myself, or if that's the case, this is what I need to prove, then let's get that ball rolling. Let's do that. And I always think about guys sort of being able to go back to where they've come from as a safety net of sorts. And at 23 years old, when you're thinking about starting your legacy, what better time right now than to plant yourself in the game with all of the talent? And if you think that you are in the elite class of that talent, you are going to capitalize. You are going to capitalize. It's just a matter of producing. And if he thinks that he's going to be able to do what he's done in the Nippon League here stateside, absolutely. Absolutely.
But do you legitimately, I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but do you give any chance to any team other than the Dodgers? And if so, which teams?
Like very small.
Does anyone give a team better chance than the Dodgers?
No.
Well, here's what's interesting about this situation is his homework assignment that he gave to all of these teams, right? That's what's interesting about this is because, and maybe you put the Dodgers at the top of this list, but he's asked them to, again, without giving me all of the ingredients to your recipe, which I can respect, show me how you're going to make me better. Here's the questions I've presented you with, or here's the homework assignment I've given you. Show me how you are going to be able to make me as a player better. And I think that's really important because a lot of that has to do with player comfort. And when asked, the priority of being the only Japanese player or being with other Japanese players, not a conversation at all. Something that just wasn't discussed, wasn't really prioritized. So that doesn't matter. And if that's him playing things close to the vest, maybe we find that out later, maybe we don't. But what he has said and what he's given these 20 teams, which when you think about that, he's already sort of said, here's where it starts and here's where it stops. You're either not capable of providing me with what I'm looking for, and I've made that determination as a player, or I just don't feel like the fit from many perspectives is worth wasting our time. So for that reason, these 10 teams are not a part of the conversation. These other 20, though, I feel like whether it's location, roster construction, or mainly your ability to make me better and how you're going to do that, those are the things I prioritize. Those are the things I consider. So whoever can do that, because remember, Ohtani chose Anaheim. He chose Anaheim. Out of all places, he chose Anaheim. And I told you why a long time ago. I'm still waiting
on the day for your theory to get confirmed, Alice.
Oh, it's confirmed. It's confirmed. And that's why I think watching Sasaki start to go through this process and make this decision, it echoes the same exact thing that Ohtani was going through. We're talking 9 figures waiting for this dude if he hangs around for 2 more years. Just go dominate the league that you've been dominating so far. Just go dominate there for 2 more years. And then when you want to come over here, we got 9 figures waiting for you. Instead, you're going to max out at about 7.5 mil. That's what the international side, and that's what teams are doing right now, right? And from what I understand, I think
why do guys do this? Why?
Jared, because listen, this is why I love the cultural injection and infusion of baseball in Japan, because it's like, bro, it's like a samurai perspective. Like, I will fucking go out on my shield. I will this is why I'm doing this, for honor. I'm doing this for my legacy. Because how else can I earn your respect? If I stay here and dominate 2 more years and then come over, what will you say? It was for the money. And it might be crazy to think, but maybe guys actually play this game for those reasons, for the legacy, for the idea of representing their country in a way where I want to come over and I want to be the absolute best that's ever done it on the mound. And I've got fellow countrymen doing that right now. I want to do that side by side with them. They're making a huge impact, a huge wave right now coming over.
I also have to think that, for as much as that we're sitting here and thinking, oh, what about the risk of coming over here and forfeiting the opportunity to wait 2 years and get more money? I think it's been proven out that while these athletes are very aware, much more aware today, I think, than ever, that most of them are so confident in their abilities that I'm sure, Sasaki included, that I'm sure he's looking at it and saying, I will get that money. I'm going to get that money down the line. I'm going to get more money then, endorsements, off field, on field, all that sort of stuff. So I don't know. I think, his agent basically said, the time is now. He wants to be one of the greatest.
Yeah, it worked for Shohei. I mean, Shohei gave up probably $200 million to come up a year early. I would say he definitely made more than that, because that would have been a 6-7 year deal. or whatever it would have been, and now gets 700 million. That worked out for him. But at the time, it was a crazy thing to do. It's like you are forfeiting $200 million. It's not a financially smart thing at all.
But here's one thing that Show had going for him that Sasaki does not. And we have seen it play out. Shohei Ohtani set a baseball record that potentially could only be broken by himself at the 50-50 mark. Why? Because the other half, the other selling point of Shohei Ohtani was on the shelf. But you still got a guy who set a record offensively. Sasaki's not going to be able to do that should things pop. So should something happen for him, right? He's not just going to DH for Team X and hit fucking 50 homers and steal 50 bags. That's not just going to happen. So Ohtani was always in a different position, always. That's why this kind of stuff, he's a one of one. He's a one-off. You can't compare that. So for Sasaki, should something happen to him physically in those next 2 years, and then he wants to come over, now is his thought he's damaged goods. But what if he comes over here and shows what he is and what he's capable of, and something happens here? That's where people are going, aren't you afraid of that? And I think what we've started to see here is the compensation. Teams are more than willing to sign a guy up for a couple years coming off of an injury, knowing that they're pretty much paying for year two. But you're saying, well, do you want to ride out a 2-year deal, knowing that 1 year spoken for because of injury, instead of waiting 2 more years to get hundreds of millions of dollars? And
I will say,
you're saying, no, man, I want the legacy to start now, and it's got to start there.
I will say, and this might be a little taboo, but like Roki Sasaki, like is 100% like the most obvious Tommy John candidate ever. It's almost like signing him now, you're agreeing to him getting Tommy John. Look at that.
Why do you say that?
Because he's 23, 24. He's turning 24. He's throwing 100. He's throwing 103 miles per hour. We've already seen him like digress a little bit past 2 years and battling injuries basically his entire career. And it's like, I don't have the stat with, I mean, one stat that I read that fucking blew my mind was basically how many players throwing 100 miles per hour or more who end up getting Tommy John starting pitchers. It's like an insane amount. I forgot, but it's over 50%.
I would have guessed higher, honestly. But to Dallas's point earlier about if he had waited the 2 years and then come over, then people would have criticized him and said, oh, he's just doing it for the money. If he signs with the Dodgers, doesn't he almost get more, not criticism, but I guess like you're taking the easy way out?
No, that's where this is what people need to understand about
he's joining. He's a mega talent who is joining a super team.
That's why
I feel
people
like he will
pissed off.
draw more. I guess I don't even. It's not criticism.
Unjustly.
I guess ire.
No, it will. No, it will be. It'll be both. It's a combination of criticism and ire because I think somewhere in between that, the love child is jealousy, and it's because he has the opportunity to go to a team who could compensate him greatly, potentially the most. That team also happens to be a leading candidate to be the team that can make him the most comfortable in the process of making him better. And I got to believe, and let's just take this ball that Joey has bounced into our court with injury and dribble this around for a little bit. You got to believe that that's part of the equation too, is let's say something happens to me physically. What does your ability to get me back look like? What does the health protocols look like? How are you able to take care of me as an athlete, whether that's preventatively or post-operatively, whatever, like you're figuring out all of these scenarios. And that's why I think that homework assignment is really important. Is, again, he's already told you the 20 teams that he's willing to invite to the party. Those 20 teams have been given a homework assignment, and that's it. Show up and show me what you got. Show your work, and let's see. And I love that because I think that says a lot more than somebody who's just here to cash out.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately for him, he can't cash out, and all the teams are basically stuck offering him the same amount of money. I think that the Dodgers are the team that can offer him the most money with the bonus pool still. So that's just another, the Dodgers can pay him the most money. Now he's saying, I'm really worried about mostly development. The Dodgers are the best at development. They're the best team. probably he makes more money off the field with the Dodgers being with Yamamoto and Shohei. Every single sign shows Dodgers, other than the mindset. If you want to inflect the mindset into hit, I want to prove myself that I'm better than these guys. Or he's good friends with you, Darvish, so he'll go to the Padres.
And think about this too, Joe. This is what people, I think, have to get over and have to look at is if these 20 teams are what we're talking about, this isn't all things being equal conversation for the most part, because we're talking about if a guy's willing to forego hundreds of millions of dollars, then I'm going to live in a world where the $2 million difference between my $5 million I can offer him and the $7 million that Jay Hay can offer him and the $6 million that Jared can offer him. And remember, I think teams can trade for up to 60% of their international pool money. So if you have $7 million, you can get almost up to 14 or whatever. So you're going to be able to make moves. But I think it's going to be a negligible amount.
Something going on with John Heyman over here? I'm just poking around on the internet here. And, looks like John Heyman, this tweet, I'm not going to even cite this person. I have them muted, which means they probably were an asshole at some point. John Heyman says that Jeff Hoffman was not thrilled with the Phillies when they traded for Carlos Estevez.
I'm going to go Estevez.
Jay?
Estevez.
Carlos Estevez.
There's a tilde in there. Don't forget.
Yeah, that's what the caption says. Here's the video clip.
I see people predicting Hoffman back to Philly, and maybe they'll figure it out. But I don't think Hoffman loved the fact that they brought in Estevez and kind of gave him a little bit bigger role. I could be wrong. Maybe they've smoothed that over, but a lot of teams looking for relief.
Okay, so that's his own words. And the caption says, John Heyman says that Jeff Hoffman was not thrilled with the Phillies when they traded for Carlos Estevez at the deadline. John Heyman replied, that's not what I said. That's almost verbatim what he said. Am I missing something?
Nah, man, we could play it again.
Play it again.
I heard that too, Jared, honestly.
I see people predicting Hoffman back to Philly, and maybe they'll figure it out. But I don't think Hoffman loved the fact that they brought in Estevez and kind of gave him a little bit bigger role. I could be wrong. Maybe they've smoothed that over, but a lot of teams looking for relief.
The caption again says, John Heyman says Jeff Hoffman was not thrilled with the Phillies when they traded for Carlos Estevez at the deadline. And John Heyman said, that's not what I said.
And to John's defense, that's not what he said.
It's not literally what he said.
No, what he did say was that he doesn't think that he loved the move.
But he said he could be wrong.
But he could be wrong.
So he could be wrong. I mean, he left the door open to being wrong. So,
yeah.
But he's not wrong because he didn't say that in the first place.
So he left the door open to being wrong, but not being slightly misquoted.
Well, I think I read somewhere that they grew up together, but like they had a relationship that goes back years. Like they were like very close friends. So I'm not gonna say that this story in particular is about John Heyman, but it might be. Just listening to his stream sometimes, where he throws out information, and me having relationships with agents and players themselves, it is kind of crazy. Like when he will say things and I just know it's not true. Like that didn't happen, or this didn't take place. This wasn't said. This was not offered. Like he will just confidently. And it makes me, as a baseball fan, obviously I grew up reading MLB trade rumors, and I've been on Twitter since 2008, basically since like the inception of Twitter when MLB reporters started using it. Just believing every word that was said to me by any baseball journalist. It's like, wow, they must be talking to executive, like they must have all the scoops. And now being able to see it from both sides, there are a lot of times where he just says things that are just simply not true. Like, did not happen.
Well,
And I know that for a fact because I'm talking to the people directly related to the subject matter.
it's
Just
because
saying.
who he works for. He works for the New York Post. Like, he has to do that. Like, it's all about getting little rumors and little nuggets and like making them bigger than they are supposed to be. In order to do that, you kind of got to like half lie. Like, I heard maybe there's like some tension and that Juan Soto actually didn't go to the Yankees because their like security was mean to their family. Maybe.
Yeah. I guess. But it'll literally be as simple as something like Team X is the most aggressive for Team Y or for player Y. And then I'll ask like the agent or the player and be like, we don't even have an offer. Like, we haven't even talked to them. It's just some of this shit is just either made up or bad information. So I'm warning you, cautioning you, the baseball fan, be wary of any information that is floated out there and it's not by Jeff Passan. Jeff's got it all. Jeff's also not the type of reporter that is going to tweet something that isn't concrete. Like, he's not tweeting rumors. He's not
a pot stir.
No, he's just like, hey, breaking news, this happened. It's done.
Because
that's Jeff.
Passan could get fired for that. Heyman could get fired for not doing that.
Yeah, maybe.
You see? That's how I feel like if you're writing for the New York Post, that's what they want. They want you to post like, okay, fucking Cody Bellinger's wife fucked fucking Giancarlo Stanton. They hate each other. Like, they want shit like that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, they want these kind of stories. Like, they want the good shit, not like, oh, wow, they're considering this deal and the referrals and stuff. Like, boring. Jeff Hoffman hates Carlos Estevez. Breaking news. They can't be in the same clubhouse together.
I guess
what
you're
a
right.
war.
Yeah.
What a fucking beef that would be. Estevez versus Hoffman. Two heavyweights going at it in the bullpen.
Those are some big boys, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Hoffman pivots to a division rival just to get Estevez back.
That's true. Yeah, that rivalry is real.
It's a big storyline heading into 2025.
Yeah. Anyways, that's talking Heyman.
I can't even believe it.
Thank you,
I can't
John.
even believe it.
Jay, hey, why do you think the reliever market is moving so slowly?
I just don't. I mean, are any of them actually priority players?
Tanner Scott, Hoffman. There's a few guys where it's like, yeah, this is a no-brainer. You'd want him in your bullpen.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think both of those guys are definitely no-brainers. You want them in your bullpen. I don't think any of those guys are any teams, or I guess like probably no teams, top of line, first or second budget item. Like, he's not a Josh Hader. I know Tanner Scott, maybe somebody's going to say, was as good as that's not my point. He wasn't Josh Hader as an asset or as a desired commodity as a player coming into his free agency, the type of guy who's going to get $90 million. I mean, I think it might sort of be that simple. I mean, it's not like the rest of the market is completely bereft of interesting players either, right? Like, we still have multiple excellent bats still available, or I mean, maybe not excellent, but multiple still very good bats available. Still some intriguing pitchers. I don't know. I don't look at Tanner Scott and Jeff Hoffman being available as all that unusual, I guess is my point.
Yeah, I think teams are also confident that they can that they have answers probably in various forms internally to some of the bullpen questions they might have. And it's not that those guys that we're talking about don't represent obvious fixes or obvious answers to those questions, but those questions also come with a pricier cost than maybe some internal options.
I mean, you still got, I mean, I know everybody talks about Alonso and, Flaherty and these other top tier free agents or top tier remaining free agents, Bregman, Sasaki, etc. But like, Ha-Sung Kim's still out there. You know what I mean? And they're like, he has been a very high impact player over the last 3 seasons leading up to his free agency. He's still out there. Like, I don't know. I know the bulk of the excitement is gone, but I still feel like there's actually a decent amount of meat left on the bone for MLB free agency and like stuff that could happen that's interesting.
Also, it could be guys, because now like starting pitchers are being used less and relievers are getting more. Like, I mean, it could be a thing where it's like these relievers are asking for money that like teams aren't traditionally willing to pay a reliever. And they're saying, well, like, you guys are relying on us more than any time in history. Like, let's get paid.
Yeah.
Let's get this reliever money up. And teams are like, listen, slow your roll, Buster.
That's probably a fair point. I mean, depending on who the agent is that would have the, I guess, foresight to try to change the market, like before relievers were not getting, what was it? Dylan Betances. Do you remember that arbitration case, Jay Hay?
Yeah. This
was like 2015 or 16, I want to say. Dylan Betances went through arbitration with the Yankees, and the Yankees were like, well, he's not a closer.
Right.
So we're not going to pay him closer money. Like there's a such thing as closer money. And it's like, no, there should just be, these are my innings. This was my ERA. This was my FIP. These are my strikeouts. This was my whip. This was my walks per 9. And that's it. I get, sure, there's extra incentive if you're a closer, but if I'm an 8th inning guy and I'm just absolutely dominating, it's not my fault that you're not smart enough to make me the closer. Like I shouldn't make less because you're dumb. My numbers are what they are. I'm still going out there and facing big league hitters and dominating comparative to the rest of the league. So I think we definitely in the last 10 years have grown a lot in the reliever financial market. We've seen Edwin Diaz, Aroldis Chapman get $100 million deals as relievers. Like that would have been unfathomable 10, 15 years ago. But now, I think we're kind of getting to what Joe's talking about where, like we've got openers, we've got starting pitchers that are averaging 4 2/3 innings per start. Like relievers have never been, the rosters haven't got any bigger. It's like, all right, they added like one spot, but not everyone's using that for the bullpen. Like bullpens themselves are not getting any bigger, but it's the same number of guys and it is a larger workload that's being asked of them. So yeah, they should be asking for more money.
Well, I mean, this started with Andrew Miller.
Yeah.
This started with Andrew Miller when he was being utilized in the fashion
2016
he was.
Playoff.
That's when, and I always go back because I remember, and I've said this multiple times on this podcast, but I remember during that World Series calling Jerry Blevins and talking to Blev about Andrew Miller, lefty reliever, coming in different areas and doing what he was doing. So I love the idea that this could be maybe an effort to get the market up for relievers. I also think that's a bit of a tall task. I think in a time where I think they're trying to drive salaries down. They're more than willing to pay the elite tier player, but as far as the middle class player goes, there's an attack on paying that player.
I first of all, I'm not convinced that Hoffman and Scott aren't going to get their money. And secondly, I would just ask, like, what actually are our expectations for the amount of money that they quote unquote should be receiving? Because it's not like either of these people is some sort of like gold standard of track record for high end relief pitching. Like Tanner Scott's been awesome for 2 seasons. Jeff Hoffman has been, I would say good to very good for like 2 to 2.5 seasons. And neither of they're obviously a little bit older. Not that you're necessarily looking at that with relief pitchers all that much, but like if Tanner Scott wants, and I'm just making this up, I don't know what his expectations are, but if Tanner Scott wants $60 or $70 million as a relief pitcher in some sort of sub Josh Hader contract world, well, that's almost as and I'm not saying he shouldn't, I don't care, but like that's almost as disqualifying in terms of number of teams who are going to be in that market as what we talk about when we're saying Juan Soto, $750 or $800 million. Like those are almost the same thing because Cleveland and Kansas City and Detroit, like they're never paying $70 million for a relief pitcher, and I would say that is probably true of, off the top of my head, like 75% of the teams in the league right off the bat. And that's fine. But then you have to ask, like, okay, how many suitors are there for these teams? And if we're talking about suitors like the Dodgers and some of these other teams, well, then I think it's fair to say that they had other business that they were probably focused on rather than getting Tanner Scott signed up. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's a great point about the comparison of the people who are in the race and the people who are out of the race, just based on their willingness to spend that amount of money in that area. And I got to believe, and this is why, like, I hate going down this road, but it's a conversation that you have to have, is they, as far as injuries go, the bullpen, the reliever market, if you will, this is the land of cheap intern labor, if you will, because I can get young guys who are affordable, that have great shit, that can come up and rock it till the wheels fall off, and I can cycle through and grab me another. Now, is it that easy to just plug in elite shit in a bullpen and have it produce? No, it's not that easy. But I think on the whole, you'll see relievers, when their track records, they'll have up years, they'll have down years. There's up years, there's down years. And it's not easy to forecast a consistent 6-year window for a reliever. And I think you also have to consider the injury perspective. And that's why being able to roll a new arm in there and roll a new arm in there and roll a new arm in there is a more viable option for a lot of teams than spending that kind of money on one arm.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, if you're a team like the Padres, maybe the Phillies, maybe the Braves, like a team where you know you're going to be facing off against the Dodgers, and if you want to get to the World Series, you have to beat the Dodgers, Tanner Scott might be just the perfect, like, you might just sign Tanner Scott just to face Shohei. You know, that we saw this playoffs, like he's shutting Shohei down, like that could be his whole value this
Sure.
offseason, is like, we just get the guy who could strike out Shohei, the one pitcher in MLB who Shohei can't fucking hit. Like, I feel like he's more valuable on the Padres than any other team by far, just because you know they're going to have to face the Dodgers 20 plus times this year. And if you want to go deep in the playoffs, you're probably going to have to beat them.
I'm trying to think. Like, that's not unprecedented. Like, I know, like, the Yankees used to do that shit all the time. They used to acquire guys for David Ortiz. Like, they would literally be like, this is our David Ortiz guy. Like, go and get him out. And then he would just fucking take him deep. But it's not an unprecedented thing to do. The other thing I kind of wanted to hit on before we get into all of our other segments today, the Alex Bregman, I guess, sweepstakes, we can call it. What's your read on his market? Because to me, it feels like it was 5 teams. I feel like there's really 2 teams now, and I'm confused by why he's still out there. And maybe it's as simple as, Scott Boras has a number in mind and there's no team that's met it yet.
This is who I'm willing to play second base for. This is who I'm not willing to play second base for.
I think he's willing to play second base for whoever meets his number.
Well,
if there's a team,
that's the thing is if you're team X and you're close to my number and I really like you and I'm not getting much else, but I've got an offer over here to stay at my natural position and the situation is comparable. Oh, that might be something that he's debating. That might be something that's tugging at him. And so if you're telling me I can go play second base, and I'm not saying that the Dodgers are in play here, but if there's a team that is separating themselves as far as consistent competitive window goes, and all it takes is for him to be playing second base to enjoy that, then maybe he's more than willing to make the move. But if the second spot or the other option is stay at your natural position, and we're really going to need you, like you're going to be a big part of what then maybe that conversation's different.
Jared, what's your read on the teams? Who are the favorites?
I know who all the teams are. I can't really. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can read what Heyman, for example, is saying. Like, he's saying everybody's saying Boston would be a great fit, but the Tigers and Blue Jays are currently the favorites for Bregman.
That's probably accurate. Yeah.
And so the thing with the Tigers is the familiarity with AJ Hinch, and AJ's telling him, "Look, dude,
let's cheat again.
Come on, no." Remember, AJ was not too happy about things. So I think it's an option for him to go, we have a horse and we've got young talent all around us. You could be a part of this window that we think we have right now. You just be the player that you are, and you can be a part of that.
But if you're him, right? Or
I know
you're
why
any
it's
player.
not signed.
You wait, what?
I know why it's not signed then. If
Why?
this is the actual scenario, because he wants Boston to meet a number.
Yeah.
And until they meet that number, we got to hear about these other teams that he's objectively less interested in signing with. You can't convince me that Alex Bregman at this point in his career would rather sign with the Detroit Tigers or specifically the Toronto Blue Jays. Like, get out of here with that. Like, that's the Toronto Blue Jays and or the Detroit Tigers offering him the most money as things currently stand. And the reason you keep hearing this Boston stuff, seems to me as an outsider on the situation or whatever, is that everybody knows that that's an amazing fit for both sides potentially in the short and medium term. And it's all about, can they get to a certain number where Bregman can feel good about signing at one place and walking away from a less competitive situation elsewhere. Am I wrong? Does that sound off?
Nope.
There's a little truth, not entire truth. I think with this situation, I don't think the Red Sox have made him feel at all like, hey, we really want you, but we got to make this work. I think the Red Sox are like, oh, that's nice that it seems like the public thinks that there's a fit here. You know, we respect you as a player. Obviously, Alex loves you. I'm curious at what point that he is still out there, that ownership doesn't, because if we're to believe the reports are Cora wants him, Sam Kennedy wants him, Breslow is about him. And I read into the Breslow being as in, we're not trying to be cheap, but we really believe in Marcelo Meyer. We believe in Christian Campbell, guys like that. It's like the next wave could be just as good, if not better, over the life of this contract. Okay, if that's your line of thinking, fine, I can subscribe to it. But what the Red Sox really need, above just, balancing the lineup and a right-handed bat, they need culture change. Like, they need an adult in the room. I've said this a million times. Like, they need someone who's been there and done that and won. Like Jarren Duran is the leader of the Boston Red Sox. Is that a good thing? From an attitude perspective, sure. From a lead by example perspective, sure. Like, he shows up every day. He's ready to play every day. His skill set is one of the most exciting, but he hasn't been in the league for a long time and he hasn't won anything. He's been on all losing teams. He was up for 21, but he didn't play in the playoffs or anything. So all he's known is losing culture. Like, if they have someone come in there like Bregman that's won, and it's not like it's going to become his team, but it does help to have a guy like that. So if I'm Bregman, I'm looking at it as, okay, I have these teams that are interested in me, but who's like telling me that with their actions? Like, it's nice to hear, yeah, we like you as a player. We'd love to have you here. We're going back and forth on parameters, but who's the team that's saying, we like you a lot, so here's how we're going to show that? And then they end up putting their nuts on the table with an actual offer. The Red Sox are not that team right now. They haven't been that team at all in this process.
No, I agree. I don't disagree with that. So, like, I guess my point was that it seems like if Detroit or Toronto was the place that Alex Bregman really truly wanted to be above and beyond,
be there by now.
Everywhere else, he would be there. That was kind of my point. And maybe those are the places that end up being the best fits in the end, because Boston doesn't step up or because Detroit or Toronto offers so much money that it's not a conversation. But it's hard for me to imagine that Alex Bregman sits here and sees the Toronto situation to be an appreciably different one than we all do from a competitive standpoint. I think they're more likely to be fifth in that division next season than they are to be any other spot, I would imagine. So that, I don't know, that just seems like an odd fit for that point in his career, unless it's just an amount of money that you can't walk away from, which is totally possible and has happened many times.
And salsa in Canada, a whole new market for the salsa brand.
That's true.
Whole new market.
And a lot of places in Canada haven't even found Mexican food yet. He could be the guy who brings Mexican food to Canada.
That's a good point. The guy, people asking me, like, what do you think the likelihood is that he signs with the Red Sox? I'm like, very unlikely. But the fact that he's still out there is the only thing that gives me hope, is because I know that the Tigers, and if the Blue Jays are one of those teams, right, that's linked to him, you know that they're offering desperate money. They want anyone to take their money. Like they're just, please, a player, you're good. All right, here's, if he ends up in Toronto, which I don't know. I don't know. Like I see him in Detroit more than I see him in Toronto, but let's say it is the Blue Jays. That contract is going to be fucking massive.
And but you know what? Is there anything that says Alex Bregman could just cash the check initially, sign the deal, and then if the competitive situation lends itself to somebody else knocking on the door and going, hey, Toronto, you guys really don't have a plan moving forward here. We'd like him. What do we need to do? What do we need to do? This is where we're at competitively. And maybe it's one of the teams that we're talking about right now who initially balks at making that commitment, but then finds themselves in a spot where maybe they didn't anticipate, or they're actually where they anticipated being, but they need a little help. They need a little push. And now Bregman can represent that. Is there any thought to him doing that? I don't think so, because you can't guarantee that Toronto is willing to walk away or is willing to play ball with anybody else should that conversation come about. So Detroit is the likely landing spot out of these teams that we're having the conversation about, if ultimately they're going to be in the middle of what these two teams represent. If Boston represents an opportunity to be competitive, a place where you could be compensated comparably, and you know what the window looks like, and then you go to the Tigers, you know what that window looks like. It's a decent looking window, and that money is probably going to be comparable. Where you're going to play baseball on the diamond, that's going to matter too. So now between those two teams, which is the more likely landing spot? And if Boston's not willing to meet a number that Detroit is willing to offer because they like what Bregman can represent for their window, now Bregman is in a tough spot, or is in a spot where he has to make a decision. Is this legacy? Am I thinking about being competitive? Where do I see the fit? Who do I see being more competitive with me a part of them?
I'll tell you right now, he is thinking about, like, not just championships. He's thinking about, what does my entire career look like? He's not saying, I worked my ass off. Look what I did in Houston. This is the payday that I deserve, and now I'm set. It's very much like when we talked to Nolan Arenado, and he, when he signed his extension with the Rockies, and he was like, I'm trying to make myself a player that is worth every penny at the end of this thing. That is Bregman's thinking. It's not, this is my reward for what I've done. I think whoever signs him is getting the best version of him.
Well, I don't think his commitment to the game and the craft has been something that that's nothing that I've ever questioned. Like, and I think if you've done your homework and you know who the dude is and you know who he was coming out of college, then that's never been a question. So he's never been a guy. He's always been the dude who, when he got breaded up, now it's time to roll. He's always been that guy. And so that's nothing new, I don't think, to anybody.
Also, I'm looking at it now because I know he dominated at Fenway, the numbers at Comerica, just because, you look at your swing, what ballpark is better for you. At Fenway Park in his career, 21 games. This doesn't include the postseason. 375, 490, 750 slug, a 1240 OPS. His career numbers at Fenway Park. At Comerica, 227, 281, 421 slug, 702 OPS. So I'd be holding out too. Yeah.
Graveyard.
I'd be like, hey,
Is he calling Baltimore? He's like, hey, you guys move that thing back in a little bit. Move that
fence back in, yeah.
Right? I get the head out.
What are his numbers in Toronto? 247, 330, 447, a 777 OPS. So yeah, I would be looking at my numbers at Fenway being like, how do we make this work? Please.
And if you're Craig Breslow, Jared, you bet your ass he knows that. And he's going, look, really, Alex, it's up to you. Like, I know you're talking about legacy. And if productivity is going to be a part of that, well, let's take a look at all these ballparks. And let's take a look at the teams that are interested. And let's figure out where you'd like to play. Because I know which place you have a really good shot of solidifying that legacy you're after. So, my friend, it's going to come at a price. And you're the one who's going to call that, not me. I'm telling you what we're willing to pay you. It's really about what you're willing to take to cement your legacy. So where do you want to lay that foundation? This last, final, important slab of concrete that you're going to build upon? Where do you want to do that? Do you want to do it on a marshland where there could be some settling, some cracks left? Or do you want a nice, solid, firm, level place to pour this foundation where you could sort of project what the future looks like?
Yeah. We'll see. Something to keep an eye on. Me personally, I am a little surprised he hasn't signed yet. But the market is what the market is. Like now, before we move on from Bregman, does his number start with a 2, Dallas?
Ooh, I think that's I'm glad you asked that, because I think that's a big part of the question. I mean, if it's 185 from Boston and it's 205 from Detroit, I got him in Boston.
Jay, number start with a 2?
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Joseph?
Yeah, I think he gets there.
Oh, okay. All right. So you got him signed with the Blue Jays for $350 million.
Not quite. Let's just say, I think someone's got something up their sleeve.
Okay. All right.
Who doesn't like a Breggy bomb?
Jay, what do you got, Jay? You got a 5-year piece somewhere in the one?
I got I'm thinking like 6 years, like maybe $188, maybe $182 with Detroit. That's what I'm feeling in my gut right now. Like
that's
30 mil a pop.
That's why I threw out the 185 in Detroit, just because they got to be a player.
Yeah, I think that's a term that could make some sense for everybody. He gets more than didn't we talk about the Chris Bryant contract? Probably wants maybe get $1 more, $1 million more than that. Although on a 6-year term, that would be a much higher average annual value anyway. So yeah, I think that's about that's my guess.
I think he gets 200. I think if you're the Tigers and you really want to make a splurge, I think you're around 225 for 8. Like we're all talking low end, and then out of nowhere, boom, here's the Tigers going for it's like Max Fried. It was like, all right, yeah, like everyone's talking 7-year deals, 6-year deals, whatever, and then boom, it's an 8-year deal. I think that's what happens with Bregman. It's that surprising 8th year. It's the team that knows, hey, I know we're not the favorite. I know we're not the team that you want to be on, but we need you, and I know that we can make this work. How about an 8th year? Done. That's what gets him across the 200 plan.
AJ. Smooth talking AJ.
Mm-hmm. Could be. And now it is time for our 1999 MLB Re-Draft. Wow. Can you believe it? Another draft that I get absolutely fucked and end up with the last pick, right? It's been a while.
No. You got last fair. Pick again? That sucks.
Did I?
Sucks.
I did.
Yeah. Who got first? Oh, I did. Yeah, that's right.
You got the first pick, Dallas?
Yeah, I got first pick. Yep.
That's cool. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here it is. Jay Hay has the first pick, actually.
No.
Yep.
What?
Yep. Jay Hay, Dallas, Joey, Jared.
We are never trusting Dallas's memory for.
No, I thought I took a picture of this.
Yeah. I thought I took a picture.
This is what I've written down. Jay Hay, Dallas, Joey, Jared.
It is not Jay Hay.
You had the first pick the last draft, you dumb motherfucker.
Yeah.
I know I did, and I got it again.
No.
That's what I was talking about.
No. We were laughing that Jared didn't get one because we all know who we wanted with it.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if
you
I
had for
believe
it was
either.
Dallas, Jay Hay, Joey, Jared for the last draft. This draft is Jay Hay, Dallas, Joey, Jared, which is just fucking stupid. Like I'm the last pick every goddamn time, and it's in, and I'm the one that pulls the names.
This is what a great. You said I have first pick, right?
You do, yeah.
Confirmed. What a great draft to have first pick, man.
I mean,
If you're a piece of shit.
No. No,
What?
wait, what?
Oh, sit down, Jay. You've already said too much. You've already said too much. Yeah.
I know who. Yeah, whatever.
I'll trade my second round pick for the first overall pick.
No, I'm not trading
Deal?
I'm not trading anyone's entire
Deal?
team for my first pick.
I was going to say, Jay, I will trade you my next 3 picks for your first pick. No.
Whenever we're ready,
Jay?
are we good? Are we starting?
Oh, he can't wait to fucking say it. He can't wait to say it.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
Are you
I used
ready,
to
Jared,
have-
or not?
No, I'm ready. I already wrote
Oh,
it.
okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to make it official. I mean, one of the all-time great draft steals. The 13th round of the 1999 draft out of the Metropolitan Community College Maple Woods in Kansas City. It is
Proud
Albert
father of
Pujols, baby.
Oh,
Number one
man.
overall pick.
Didn't see
God.
that coming, Jay.
Yeah, what a selection.
Yeah. Good for you, dude.
Thank you very much.
I'm not a machine, okay? I'm just Albert.
I just Albert. Not a machine.
I'm not a machine, okay? I just Albert.
Yeah. Number 2 in the 99 MLB Re-Draft goes to my brethren on the bump. What? Jay, why are you looking at me like that, Jay?
No. I didn't
What?
know if
Yeah.
you'd. I didn't know. Go ahead.
Yeah, I absolutely am going there. Yeah, Jake Peavy.
Jake Peavy.
Absolutely.
Jake Peavy, number 2 overall.
I didn't know which
Absolutely.
pitcher. I didn't know which pitcher you'd go with.
Woo!
Yes.
Shit. There's a lot of meat in this draft. I'll tell
Yes,
you
sir.
that.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shit. Joseph?
Yeah, it's a tough pick. I guess if you're gonna go PV, did someone pick Pujols? No, I'm just kidding. How about? I mean, what do you think
Jake-
about getting a guy who can do it all? Josh Beckett.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Josh Beckett.
I think that's the
over
right pick.
Yeah.
someone who
Yep.
can do it all. Because it's not. I mean, you get someone who can do it all. Okay, cool. But if you get a guy who can pitch a fucking amazing, that's even better. So that's why I'm going with Josh Beckett.
I always
I'm-
like my pick always comes up and it's always like, well, this is the right pick, but we're gonna make fun of you anyway for it.
No, we're not going to make fun of you. We're just going to, question some things. That's all.
Hmm.
Like, what kind of man are you?
Right.
Are you going to do it?
I mean, it's between 2 guys right now.
Are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? Are you going to do it?
Are you gonna do it?
I mean, put it like this. As far as my board is concerned, there are 2 fairly obvious picks here.
Yes.
It's just,
It's just, do you do it?
Yeah. Which route you going, bud?
100%.
So, all right, let me make it one thing absolutely clear.
It's not fair that he gets to pick last.
Nah, let me make one thing abundantly clear. We are not above selecting criminals for this organization. We're not above that. If you have ran into trouble with the law, we'll still take you in the draft because it's about baseball. So I don't want if I go with my selection that I feel like I should go with here, I'm not taking this individual because I don't want a shady character on my team. I just want that known. Because I don't know if the shady characters are still going to be there by the time my pick comes back to me. Maybe. I don't know. Fuck. All right. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it.
No way. Oh my God. Are you about to say it?
You know, give me Barry Zito, baby. I'm taking Barry Zito. I'm taking Barry Zito.
Holy shit.
I'm taking. He's got the hardware. He's got the ring. He's got the big money contract. He's got the voice. He's got the hair.
Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
Barry Zito.
Wow.
Come on down. First rounder.
Man.
Yep.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, I felt pretty good about it. I know that I was going between him and somebody else. Ultimately, it came down to, a Cy Young award that's a big deal. It's a big deal. And the ring.
It is.
So, but having a Cy Young award winner, the Cy Young award was the separator between this individual and someone maybe without hardware.
Very good pick.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, there's some, let's just say there's some talented but troubled players falling in this draft. Huh?
Yes, there are, Jay. Mm-hmm. And I can't wait for you. What you're going to do right now is alleviate me. That's what you're going to do. So
you know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how far they will fall.
Okay.
Actually,
shit. Are you going the other way?
I'm gonna see just how far these two will fall if we're all talking about the same two people who should probably be drafted already.
Not too far.
That's fine. I feel like there's enough meat on this overall bone where I can get somebody that was, let's say, 80 to 90% as productive as these guys.
Wow. Yeah.
While, maybe not being garbage. It's just which of the two do I take? Because I like two guys. I am going to take the crazy in some ways that a former MVP is still on the board.
Wow.
But I'm going to bring Justin Morneau home.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Wow.
Third round of the real 1999 draft. The 2006 AL MVP. You could debate whether he should probably have that, but nevertheless, he does. And was a 4-time All-Star. Yep. So I'm going to take Justin Morneau.
It's a good pick.
Thank you.
It's a great pick. It's a great pick. It's a great pick.
Dallas?
Come one, come all. Jared?
This guy's going to draft a fucking absolute human piece of shit. This guy is pathetic. You're subhuman. You're subhuman.
No. I'm going a different route. And maybe this guy was troubled. Jared, this guy may have been troubled.
Oh,
that's neither here nor there. But what he was a player. He was an absolute stud. He's a 4-time All-Star. He's a Gold Glove defender. He's an All-Star Game MVP. We're talking Silver Slugger. An absolute demon on the base path. I mean, we're talking talent, Jared. Talent. Look no further than Carl Crawford.
That's fine.
Come on down. Come on down, Carl Crawford. You're safe with me. You're safe with me.
Yeah. That sucks, man. Yep. Red Sox legend, Carl Crawford. Dallas Braden apparently fine with his assault charge.
No, that's not what we're promoting.
Yep.
It's not. I'm not condoning
2020 arrested for assault.
It's not.
Apparently that flies over there.
People express anger differently.
Next pick is yours, Joseph.
Yeah, and I gotta say I agree with Jared. I think that's a little weird to pick Carl Crawford with the checkered past. Instead, I'm gonna go with the guy who's battled addiction, battled problems his whole life, overcame a lot, and just showed that he was a good guy through and through, and showed a good example for franchise and the fans. I'm going Josh Hamilton.
Wow.
In the second round.
Yeah. Josh Hamilton pled guilty to a misdemeanor in a case for an altercation with his teenage daughter.
Well, listen, I mean, both like to defend me and Dallas, both these incidents on both like this happened after playing career, and this is we're drafting them for their playing career, so like that doesn't even really count.
Yeah, that's off the field stuff.
Off the field after they're out of the organization already retired.
Well, my redraft franchise stands for something.
Me too. I mean, if he fell to me, I'll tell you right now, Josh Hamilton is not getting picked by me.
Yeah,
no.
I was not taking him.
No surprise that Dallas roots for Jerry Jones' team.
Right. Pled guilty to unlawful restraint. So that's who Joe just welcomed.
It's another reason why
he restrained himself. What do you mean? How is that unlawful if you restrain yourself? He's restraining himself. He's doing the right thing, not doing.
You're throwing in a yourself that I don't think belongs there. Yeah,
restraint. I'm restraining. I'm restrained. It's a good thing. I thought.
This is a really interesting spot to pick in.
It is, Jared. You've got an option here.
I've got a few options. I don't think there's any home runs here.
There is.
There's some good stuff, though.
There's some good stuff. I don't.
Some awesome MVP era baseball pitchers.
Yeah, I was really hoping this guy wouldn't still be here by the time I picked again.
Because now you have to pick him.
Yeah.
Go get him. He's a good boy. Go get him.
he is. And there's nothing wrong with him.
No, you love him. Big fella.
I love him. I do love him. Go get You love him? Go get him.
Yep.
You know what? Fine. Fuck it.
Yeah. Go get him. Yeah.
Come on down, John.
Yeah. Big John.
Two-time, three-time World Series champ. Cubs, Red Sox, Angels. Proven winner. Guy just was an absolute warrior. Yeah. What a guy. John Lackey.
Oh yeah.
Jay?
This is also interesting because there's some real premium talent that's still on the board that if we're playing the game where it's like, well, I get to redo their careers and we get another roll of the dice with this level of talent, then there are two pitchers in particular that I'm like, that I personally was huge fans of when I watched them and was starting fantasy baseball, but also that I think in a lot of scenarios would be better than they ended up being for injury reasons. One of them Dallas knows intimately. Not intimately. Probably not. Actually, I have no idea.
Orangutan.
I've showered with several men.
Yeah. But I'm gonna hope to get one of those guys in the fourth round, I think, because the bats on the board are still, I think, too proven. The floor is still too high with some of these players. And I'm gonna break the tie with a guy that I just was a proven winner. I think above and beyond everybody else that was on the board. And was in the sixth round, another value pick here, sixth round of the real 90 draft out of Hawaii.
Wow.
Yep.
The flying Hawaiian, Shane Victorino.
Shane Victorino goes to Team Havens.
You know what? That's a great pick, Jay. Hey, it's a solid pick.
That's what I was going to pick if I didn't go Lackey.
Nice.
Yeah, those were the two.
There's a couple middle infielders here too that are still
but you know what, Jay? I got both of those falling to me. I'll get to pick my guy too. I'm going to be happy about that. Which is why it makes it easy for me to snag another one of my guys right now. One of baseball's greatest names. One of baseball's best defending center fielders, regardless of the fact that he maybe kind of looked like he was throwing a pair of socks in from the outfield. That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. When your name is fucking Coco Crisp and you've got the hair that Coco has.
Coco Crisp, drafted as a second baseman.
I'm taking Coco. Give me Coco.
Wow, that's a sneaky pick.
I was pretty excited when Cleveland traded for Coco Crisp. I remember.
Dallas
is mostly because of his name, but
No,
Dallas is just compiling a team of Red Sox World Series champions.
He legitimately, like as a defender, ball off the bat, there were a few guys that gave me the kind of confidence that, oh, that's caught. And there was a lot of balls that were 50-50 balls for me, meaning that might go over the fence or that might be off the wall. Not maybe he'll catch it, maybe he won't. And he was making plays on those balls, right? He was bringing balls back. It was fucking ridiculous to watch him, dude. So much.
I feel like as a Cleveland fan, like they're not the exact same player, obviously, but there's definitely parallels between, peak. Well, I was going to say peak Coco and peak Stephen Kwan, I think, for what he's doing right now in terms of their offensive and defensive profiles. Because, Coco, I mean, at least in the early part of his career, maxed out at 16 homers. I know he got to 22 with the A's, but that was pretty late career.
Yeah. And that was a conscious decision to pump.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, 3-4 win player in his early mid-20s with Cleveland. But yeah, nice pick. Fond memories.
I just want to know, and I have a pick in the queue, and I'm going to be very upset if Joe takes this player.
Well, I do have the right to do it.
You do have the right to do it.
It is my God-given right.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I'm going to go with Brandon Phillips.
Okay. All right.
That dude.
It's a good pick.
That dude.
Pick.
Do you know who his wife is?
Mrs. Phillips?
Yeah,
Mrs. Phillips.
Yep. Who's his wife?
WWE superstar Jade Cargill.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I do now.
Yeah. That is not who I was going to take. What were you going to say, Jay?
I was just going to say Brandon Phillips, always worth remembering, part of one of the most lopsided trades in modern baseball history.
This lady is jacked.
Yeah, she is.
His wife.
Mm-hmm. Was he in a trade with Bartolo Colon?
That's right.
Yep.
Bartolo Colon for who? Cliff Lee and Brandon Phillips?
It was Sizemore, Lee, and Phillips, and Lee Stevens, for that matter, for Colon and Tim Drew.
Mm. Good old-fashioned Expos trade, huh?
Yeah, desperation, unique circumstance and all that, but
throwing 1,000 miles an hour.
It's like they took that trade was so lopsided, and the Expos, from what I could tell, did absolutely zero with it. Like none of those guys ended up getting to the Nationals.
Wait. No. Other way.
My bad.
Yeah, I mean Sizemore and Lee were like stars for that.
Oh yeah, to the Indians.
Yeah, that's why I was close. Yeah,
my bad.
That's why it got confusing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. The Indians did all right. Good trade. Good trade
for the Indians. With the 12th overall pick, the final selection of the third round, Team Rocket selects Brian Roberts.
What the crap?
Orioles legend Brian Roberts. You know him, you love him.
Best value left on the board for sure.
Oh, big time. Yes. Drafted as a shortstop. Spent his entire career playing second base.
Did you not have him, D?
Doubles machine.
No. As far as the value.
Oh, best career value? Just like if that's what we're talking about, I think he's definitely been like by WAR and pretty much everything, I would imagine.
Dallas disagrees.
Okay. All right.
We'll see.
Well, that's all right. It makes my choice easy. Thank God.
Final pick.
That means I get to take one of these sexy ass pitchers.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I actually, you know what? I said there were two. I think that was shortchanging one man in particular who was a Cy Young candidate in his own right at his peak. But I don't think he's going to make the cut for me. Let's see here. Which one do I take? Yep. All right. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take a man with one of the great curveballs.
God damn you, son of a bitch ass. Fuck you.
You. Taking Ben Sheets. Ben Sheets, baby.
How do you fucking live with yourself?
I had him scouted from the beginning, dude. I've been knowing Ben Sheets since probably before you did.
One of the greatest. That's false. One of the greatest lines I've ever heard a player deliver in a media scrum was Sheets. Just a fucking beautiful human, by the way. A absolutely beautiful human. But when asked about, and this was an outing he had in spring training where he did not record an out. He did not record an out. And he came in and they were talking to him and they were asking about, his curveball. And he's like, and I remember him said, it'll be there. It'll always be there. It only ain't ever been there, but once. It'll be there. And I was just like, oh my God. Like to be able to just speak with that kind of confidence. He's obviously at the end of his career. He was with us in Oakland and had done what he'd done. And like, I was just in fucking awe of the dude just being in the building and walking in and just being the presence that he was. But I just remember him saying that, like, bro, I want to pitch like that where everybody just knows and I just know, like, bro, it'll be there. It only ain't ever not been there, but one time. It'll be there. He's just a fuck. I got to tell you this story too. We got a tea time, like middle of the morning, because we're pitchers and we don't have shit to do, and I'm kind of stressing out because I'm there early because I do not want to be late for the tea time with him, right? Veteran, and like so I'm there, I'm hitting balls, whatever. Me and another guy, and I hear this, I hear this fucking music coming to just gangster rap, and I'm like, bro, they're not like, they're not gonna let this guy, like, I wonder if this guy's played here before. And I roll up and it's it's fucking Ben and his fucking mohawk, glasses on, music just fucking pumping, and Ben is just she's just loud. He's just loud, and he was just loud. It was the most hilarious entrance to like a fucking nice golf club. It was great. It was beautiful. I was like, this dude is my hero. This guy's awesome.
Well, you're up, dude.
Oh, I am up. Fuck.
The fact that you guys let Larry Bigby fall to me is crazy.
Wasn't even on my board.
Wow. Well,
so unlisted.
Yeah.
So
typical
I have
dumbass organization.
I have two routes I can go here.
Yeah.
One guy is a guy that I competed against, ton of respect for. Great career. 2-time All-Star, World Series champion. And another guy, the guy that I will pick, unfortunately does not have the decorated career that I believe he deserved.
Oh God, I know who you're going with.
And when you talk about pulling yourself up by the bootstraps and facing adversity, could you imagine growing up in what's basically the Antarctica of America? When you grow up in the Dakotas, okay, baseball is not something that you get to play year round, dare I say 3 months out of the year. So for Mark Ellis to put together a 33 and a half WAR career, absolutely a Gold Glove caliber defender, but was overlooked probably because at times the offensive production wasn't that of some of his counterparts he was battling by the likes of a Robinson Cano, guys like, so maybe overlooked at times. So Mark Ellis will not go overlooked in my 1999 MLB Re-Draft. No. Mark Ellis, you come on home, pal. You're with DB.
I love how Dallas is acting like if he didn't take Mark Ellis that he was going to go undrafted. Like he's the one that saved him. Like he was going to go.
I did.
I would say I'll give you this, Dallas. He
as far
undoubtedly
as
was overlooked. Yes, great value pick. Overlooked in this draft for sure.
The best value pick we got in this draft.
Well,
he was not going to go.
But next after that,
yeah,
guy with 1,000 more.
Yeah.
But
Joey,
where
who
you
going,
taking, Joe?
Okay, now wait. Terry Francona?
What?
He's not much.
I don't think so.
Dude, I swear he's. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong list. I'm looking at players
Undoubtedly.
from South Dakota. I was like, how did Terry Francona get on here? I just uncovered a gem, dude.
Oh, Tito. Tito's hologram?
No, that was just a list of players from South Dakota. If you were wondering, yes, Tito Francisca is from South Dakota. Anyway, I'm going to go with, there's only a few guys left that we could really count on right now, and I'm going to go with the guy that Jared was going to pick, but he can't no longer, because I'm going to go Marlon Byrd.
Oh, okay. Marlon Byrd. Yep. Was definitely not going to pick him. He is huge.
Huge.
Jacked, I mean. He was at that Easton thing, right, Dallas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he played for the Red Sox, got popped for PEDs, and then retired and clearly didn't stop.
He played.
He's huge.
He was another dude I battled.
I mean, great hitter.
Yeah. Oh, he's a great hitter. Fucking doubles.
Yeah, great hitter. Had a very good career. Very respectable. I know who I'm going with, and I feel very good about the pick. I think, was it you, Jay Hay, that mentioned MVP 05 earlier?
Oh, yeah.
So in the game,
baller
had a different name than what he currently goes by today. Not like a crazy change, but an MVP 05, it was Alexis Rios.
Sure.
Alexis Rios.
Yep.
Later went by Alex Rios. Great career. Very underappreciated, I fear. He reminds me, you know who I put him in the same category? Jorge Cantu. Remember him?
Oh, yeah. So I battled him too. But Rios is a dude, Jared, who this is when I discovered facing him and breaking his swing down. This is a guy that I discovered I could elevate a changeup to. And I would throw elevated changeups to Alex Rios because of how he would pull off the baseball.
I feel like I've insulted Alexis Rios by comparing him to Jorge Cantu.
Yeah.
So Alex Rios' career wins above replacement 27.3. Very good. Very strong.
Cantu's above 0?
No.
Yeah.
Negative 0.1 for his career.
Yeah.
Cantu. That's
definitely insulting.
With the Rangers.
I mean, he had a couple near 30 homer seasons. 2008, 2005, he hit 28 and 29 home runs.
Yeah, I have a weird memory of him like being like in the MVP discussion the first half of some year with the Marlins. And I could have made that up completely in my brain.
Maybe. He's got 3 years, 100 RBIs, 117, 95. Like he put up some pretty good, like he must have been fucking, there was 4 seasons of an OPS plus above 100. I don't know.
He was
I guess
good
he
early
wasn't as good as I remember.
In Tampa.
Jorge Cantu. What a pull.
Well, is it possible that I can undraft my last pick and get a guy who's not drafted?
No, that's actually against the rules.
Come on.
Yeah, I feel like
why
that's
not?
Well, he has to have been drafted.
Well, now I get the last pick, and now I'm giving with Jared what he's been begging for the past fucking month. I don't want the last pick.
The past month.
And I'm sitting here saying, I'll take the last pick. You just gotta let me do a trade.
So you want to sub out you want to sub out Marlon Byrd for somebody else?
Yeah.
How about you tell us
an unrestricted free agent?
You tell us who you want to sub him out for, and we'll say yes or no if you're allowed to.
That's bullshit.
Well, it's already over anyway.
That's your only alternative, brother.
Draft's over.
All right, then I officially swap my pick. I officially swapped the last pick of the draft. Now I'm taking last. I just undrafted Marlon Byrd, and I'm getting the orangutan.
Nope, not allowed.
Yep, because I need him as a guy coming out of the pen, dude.
Not happening.
I'm taking the orangutan.
Not happening.
All right. Then in that case, then I have 5 players. Good luck competing with that.
All right. And the final results, I took Albert Pujols, Justin Morneau, Shane Victorino, and Ben Sheets. Dallas took Jake Peavy, Carl Crawford, Coco Crisp,
That's right.
and Mark Ellis. Joey took Josh Beckett, Josh Hamilton, Brandon Phillips, and Marlon Bird / Aaron Harang.
There we go.
And Jared took Barry Zito, John Lackey, Brian Roberts, and Alex Rios.
Alexis Rios.
Him too.
Mhm.
Yep.
We got them both.
Congratulations to everybody. I'll be curious to see what places you guys get.
All right, Dallas.
I feel like having 5 players is kind of hard to beat.
I'm not going to
The
win.
fucking
but-
Pujols thing, just
Yeah, I mean, it's
All
just
right,
one of
let's
those
do
kind of
this.
drafts, man.
Yeah,
You know?
Jay-Hay's, when he wins the draft, it's because he had the first pick every time.
Disgusting.
When you win it, when you win a draft
slander.
with the fucking third pick, let me know.
like I have. Yeah, let me know.
I will let you guys know. I mean, we'll count my rings soon. No
All
problem.
right, you ready, Dallas? Here's the order.
I'm ready.
I'm gonna be so fucking mad.
Everybody loves it. I hope you keep getting that first.
All right, and like Dallas is watching, so I'm not faking.
Oh, I
it.
know.
All right, ready?
Same exact order.
Oh, let's go.
The thing is broken. Obviously, it's not random. It's the same order every fucking time.
That's how random it is.
I've
That's
never
how
not
random
drafted
it
third
is.
in my life. I've drafted
That's
third
crazy.
every single
So
time.
Justin, Dallas, Joey, Jared.
Yep.
Now, what year are we doing?
What year? Hey, crybaby.
So here's how
hey,
you know
God's-
that.
Hey,
Here's
God's
how you
toughest
know
warrior.
it's not rigged. It's not rigged because I put the names in a different order every time.
Uh-huh. I noticed
Like
that too.
I
trust
put
me.
my name in first sometimes. I put it in last sometimes. I put it in third sometimes.
That's the
just
problem.
to
You're
end
jumping
up
around
not in
chance.
Yep.
fourth. It's
Did you not learn
J.A.
this?
Dallas, Joey, Jared. What?
Did you not learn this early on? Once Scantrons got introduced to you, you got to make a commitment to a column.
That's crazy.
Are
That's
you an
crazy.
A guy,
That's
you a
crazy.
B guy, you a C guy, but you got to fucking make a commitment. You can't go fucking dilly-dallying across the board, bud. You got to commit to a column.
And put it this way, sometimes I put Justin, sometimes I put Jay, sometimes I put Joe, sometimes I put Joey, sometimes I put Joseph. It doesn't matter. I pick last every time. Every
Great.
time.
This app knows what's up.
It's tough, man. Tough.
All right. So what year? I want to get
Yeah.
prepared for next week.
Yeah, let's get. You got to FaceTime me again because you started to cry. For like that.
That's crazy, dude.
They're tears of happiness.
ready?
They're for me, I think. They're happy for me.
2004.
04. Hey.
2004 draft.
Hey. You know
the
who I'm
Dallas
taking?
Braden draft.
You know who I'm taking? Which one of you lucky some bitches is looking to push your team
Wow.
over the edge?
Wow. Dallas Braden, draft eligible next week.
Love that. I mean,
Thursday.
unprecedented.
Some
Unprecedented.
good
I
stuff
don't
here.
know. I mean, I got
The
a pretty good idea.
the 2004 MLB Redraft. Where does Dallas Braden go in this draft?
I think I'm going to fall to me. I think I could. I mean, Jared, I could fall to you. There's a solid chance I fall to you.
I mean, you have the second pick. I feel like you have to take yourself.
Yeah.
You think I'm not taking myself?
Maybe I'll take you.
Ugh,
Poach that ass.
that's great. That is fabulous.
All right. 2004. Love it.
All right. What else did I need to see? Oh, I know what I was doing.
was the long version.
Yeah, it's a different. That is
about
Steve
all the
Harvey
energy I
version.
have in my body. I'm going to be honest.
Jerry's going to need oxygen.
Yeah.
Woo! All right. Welcome back to Baseball is Dead Family Feud. I am a shell of your man, Justin Havens.
You going to be able to spit out these fucking questions with your long-winded ass?
You know, I wrote them still, so, you know, it's my own problem. What are we doing? Are we doing traditional you guys? Or is Joey hopping in for one? What are we doing?
I will forfeit my spot to Joseph.
Okay.
Wow.
I will do that. I will be on the ones and twos for the buzzer.
Okay.
And because Jake's not here. If anyone hasn't noticed by now, Jake's not here. He is in Florida. We have Jeremy stepping in. So yeah, I'll slide back behind the scenes on this one.
Cool. All right. Joey with a spot start. We love it. We love it. Obviously, his stats are tracked as well. Discord does it all. Joey or Dallas, who's going to go first?
I think for the fans' sake that Joe should go first. Yeah.
I think that's true. All right, Dallas, pop those
I'm
bad
just going
boys
by
off.
listener feedback. Are we not
no.
people pleasers here?
We are. Good call.
We are
call.
people pleasers.
Yeah. We are choosing kindness in 2025. People pleasers.
All right. We ready?
Yeah, pop them off.
Yeah,
there.
pop it off.
Did I take mine off?
No, you.
No, dude, you're playing.
All right.
It's a good question, though.
Great question. Hey, he's on top of it.
Yep. Don't be afraid to ask, I think, is the takeaway. All right. Joey, Dallas. Joey, you remember how this is played, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's get started then. Jared, you ready?
Yep.
All right. Here we go, Joey. Sorry, let me change something on my screen. All right. Out of 100 BID fans, here are the results. Question number 1. We're all on the same page that the NL West has the best starting pitching of any division entering 2025. Which division is second best?
NL East.
Of the consensus 4 best remaining unsigned free agents, Sasaki, Bregman, Alonso, and Flaherty, how many will end up signing with an AL East team?
1.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst and 10 being the best, where does New Year's Eve rank as a holiday?
1 being the worst?
Yes, and 10 being the best.
3.
Question 4. Max Fried, Corbin Burns, and Blake Snell combined to sign deals for 19 years and $600 million this offseason. Of those 19 combined seasons, how many Cy Youngs will they bring home?
1.
10 teams reportedly did not reach out to Joel Wolfe to communicate interest in Roki Sasaki. If you had to bet your life on one team being one of those 10, which team would you choose?
Oakland Athletics.
Thank you, sir. Nice job, Joe.
Before we bring back Dallas, what was his answer to the first question?
It was NL East.
Okay.
Right, Joe?
Yeah. What was the question? Yeah. Best starters.
Yeah. All right, let me add it up. Dallas back on.
I had like a minute left too, man. I was just boom, boom, boom. Easy. Next. You know what I'm saying?
Dallas, can you hear us?
Got you.
All
How we
right.
do, Joseph?
That was
right.
an easy one, dude.
Joe stepped in. He got you into a nice, comfy place, D.
Okay.
He got you 153 points.
Oh my God, Joe.
Woo. Need only 47 points to start off 1-0 here in the new year. Okay.
I feel like we got this.
Dallas, are you ready?
All right.
Question 1. We're all on the same page. The NL West has the best starting pitching of any division entering 2025. What division is second best?
The East. NL East, sorry. Fuck. AL West. The fucking Mariners. Fuck.
Of the consensus 4 best remaining unsigned free agents, Sasaki, Bregman, Alonso, and Flaherty, how many will end up signing with an AL East team?
2.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst and 10 being the best, where does New Year's Eve rank as a holiday?
2.
Max Fried, Corbin Burns, and Blake Snell signed deals for a combined 19 years and $600 million this offseason. Over those combined 19 seasons, how many Cy Youngs will they win?
3.
10 teams reportedly did not reach out to Joel Wolfe to communicate interest in Roki Sasaki. If you had to bet your life on one of those teams being on that list of 10, which team would you choose?
I'm going to go with the Oakland A's. What the fuck? The Marlins. The fucking Marlins. Oh.
Thank you.
Oh, God damn. Oh. Oh, fuck. The fucking goddamn. I mean, that's tough. Like, where are you guys at on the pitching thing? The Mariners, I instantly got swapped with the Mariners.
Well, we're about to find out. Here we go. Question number 1. We're all on the same page. The NL West has the best starting pitching of any division entering 2025. What's second best? Joe got you started in good fashion. Dallas tried this with the NL East. That was the number 2 answer. That was worth 34 points for Joe. Dallas staggered his way to the AL West. That was worth 11. The number 3 answer. Number 1 answer was the AL East with 45, which seems interesting if nothing else.
Shit, dude. That's so fucked. They're not fucked, but I mean, they're wrong by a lot.
So fucked.
Max Fried jumping ship heavily sways that decision.
After that answer, you guys are up to 164 overall, so you need 36 to bring home the answer with 4 questions left. Of the consensus 4 best remaining unsigned free agents, how many will sign in the AL East? Joe said 1. That was worth 58 points.
Wow.
Good work by Joe. Dallas said 2. He cleaned up there. That was 27. That was the number 2 answer. 0 had 13 points and 3 had 2 points. But either way with that, you're up to 191.
Oh, good work, Joseph.
With 3 answers remaining.
Good work, Joseph.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, or 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, where does New Year's Eve rank as a holiday? Joe said 3. Joe's got instincts. That's the number 1 answer. 27 points. Dallas said 2. That was the number 5 answer, worth 8 points. So just shy. That gets you to 199 with 2 left. So you're pretty good shape unless you just whiff entirely. Never count you out. The Max Fried, Corbin Burns, Blake Snell thing, 19 seasons. How many Cy Youngs? Joe said 1. That was worth 20 points. That was the number 2 answer. Dallas said 3. That was worth 15 points.
That's enough.
You bring it home. With 1 question left on the board. That was the my favorite question of the teams that were not interested in Roki Sasaki, who would you bet your life on? You guys both tried the A's. Good on you. That was the number 2 answer for 14. But the number 1 answer, Dallas got the Marlins. That was the number 4 answer for 9 points. The number 1 answer was The Rock Show with 33 points. That was easily the number 1 answer, actually.
Zach, tough to count them out when they threw the bag at Chris Bryant.
Yes. But yes, another edition of Feud. Thanks to Joey. Very successful in the new year here.
It's big time.
Yep. Good work, Joe.
Yeah, it's big time. That's big time. Congratulations, Dallas and Joseph.
Yep.
Big win for them. Justin Havens.
Yes.
Please, if you would, take us back to 1970 to revisit the Cy Young Award acknowledgments of one Jim Perry and Mr. Bob Gibson.
So we're going to do the easy. Thank you very much, first of all. It's good to be back.
Yeah.
We're going to do the easy one first because there's nothing controversial happening with the Bob Gibson side of this. Bob Gibson is keeping his Cy Young. He was the best pitcher in the league this season. And while there were several other pitchers who, if they had been pitching in the AL at the time, probably would have won the AL Cy Young, Gaylord Perry and Fergie Jenkins. They just don't have any sort of real motivating argument to have been better than Bob Gibson in the NL. And unfortunately, that's the league that they played in. Gibson led by either version of WAR. He was at or near the top of the league in all of the traditional stats that are going to matter for this debate. And he was seen as the consensus answer at the time. He received 23 of the 24 first place votes. What's a little bit more interesting to me than litigating Bob Gibson's 1970 Cy Young, which I'm reiterating he is keeping and is deserving of, is just honoring the fact that this is probably the third and final year of a 3-year run that you can argue is the best 3-year run that any pitcher has gone on since integration. And that's definitely arguable. You can, like, depending on what shape you want your production, you could argue for, late 90s, Pedro Martinez. You could argue for peak Randy Johnson, peak Greg Maddux, Clemens, those things. Those are all fair. But if you're just looking at, for example, most wins above replacement over a 3-year stretch by any pitcher since integration, it's this 3-year stretch by Bob Gibson from 68 to 70. This is the last year of that. This is, I think, obviously, if you look at the stats, traditional or otherwise, this is actually the worst of those 3 seasons, but it is still a miraculously effective pitching season. He had a 3.12 ERA in 294 innings pitched. And that 3.12 ERA suggests that he was actually unlucky because his underlying metrics like FIP and expected ERA were both much lower than that. In the previous 2 seasons, he'd been worth 11.2 and 10.4 wins above replacement. So again, something of a come down, and it's all about perspective, right? Like
I'm glad you said come down, Jay. Hey, not to interrupt you, but let's remember, speaking of coming down, 1969 was the year that the mound came down.
Yep.
And that's because Bob Gibson was shoving it up everybody's ass. And they were like, we gotta do something. So they lowered the mound, and then he just went on to win the Cy Young Award.
For sure. And like his ERA is 2 full runs higher than it was in 68. And that looks like a decline. It's less, it obviously is, because nobody's going to put up 1968 basically twice in their careers. Nobody does, but this is just a good opportunity to say that this 3-year run, which included 2 Cy Youngs, an MVP, obviously a continuation of all of his All-Star and Gold Glove awards, was basically the best 3-year run we've ever seen. So congrats to Bob Gibson on keeping that award. And what's interesting is that one of the guys who finished runners up, Gaylord Perry, and had an argument and will go on to win Cy Youngs, is actually the brother of the guy who won in the AL, Jim Perry, who is obviously much less famous than his brother Gaylord. Very cool that brothers finished first and second in the Cy Young voting in a given season. back in 1970. I don't think that should be overlooked. They also became the first brothers to pitch in the same All-Star game and win 20 games in the same season in 1970 here. So kind of a cool bit of trivia. Jim Perry himself, the voting was very split. It was unlike the Bob Gibson vote in every single way. Perry and three other guys received at least 4 first place votes. There was no guy who was a consensus answer here. Perry ended up being the answer by the voting. What makes me kind of sad as I was going through this is I found a quote from Jim Perry upon winning the award. And he said, "I didn't get my hopes up too high in case I didn't get the award. But when I heard the news, I was thrilled. I can't explain in words how happy I am. I'm just overflowing with joy." And, a lot of time has passed, so I'm sure some of the joy is dissipated. But to take an award in a way away from a man who was that excited to receive it is obviously, it doesn't make me feel good, and it's not something I do lightly. But we do have to be honest here on this segment, otherwise people wouldn't come in to listen to it. And a couple of things need to be noted. By B-War, this is a terrible selection. He was just by B-War, he had 3.8. Third place finisher Sam McDowell had 8.3, and fifth place finisher, for example, Jim Palmer had 6.4. By F-War, it was a much closer debate. Perry was 6.7, still behind McDowell, but only behind McDowell in terms of AL pitchers. So that suggests it was a little bit closer. Those two stats do say unanimously that Sam McDowell was the best this season. That brings me to, I did some other research in this, and MLB.com actually earlier this offseason ranked all 128 Cy Youngs in MLB history by, their own statistical requirements or whatever. And Jim Perry ranked 111th out of 128. So not last, to his credit.
Definitely not last. Not even second to last.
No, not even second to last, but very far down there in terms of best Cy Young Award winners. So this wasn't necessarily a season where a guy who didn't have a Cy Young track record came out to win the Cy Young because he had the best statistics by far. And in reality, it was more a guy who didn't have a track record winning the Cy Young, won the Cy Young, and probably shouldn't have. Because there's really no statistical way you can look at it and come out with the conclusion that Jim Perry was the best or probably even second or third best pitcher in the league. Like he was taught for, even if you like wins, he was one of 3 pitchers with 24 wins. And there were 3 other guys with 20 plus wins in the voting anyway. So that's like, just kind of put that in the garbage. He was nowhere near the league leader in innings pitched. He was not the league leader in adjusted ERA. He was not the league leader in regular ERA. And in fact, the guy who was better in basically all of these things was Sam McDowell. And he had more innings pitched, fewer hits allowed, fewer runs allowed, more strikeouts, more batters faced, a lower ERA, and a better adjusted ERA this season. And it gives me an opportunity to shed some light on sad Sam McDowell. Because he, I think, is one of the great overlooked players. Actually, his nickname was Sudden Sam, but one of the overlooked players I think of maybe all time in terms of how often do we talk about players who were legitimately great for a sustained period. From 1965 to 70, a 6-year period, he ranked 3rd in Major League Baseball, not just the AL, in wins above replacement for pitchers. He was behind only Bob Gibson and Juan Marichal. He ranked 6th in innings pitched, 1st in strikeouts. He had 199 more strikeouts over this 6-year span than Bob Gibson did. Okay. Think about what you think about with Bob Gibson, the fear, all of it. Sam McDowell had basically 200 more strikeouts over a 6-year span. And those were 1st and 2nd in the league. He also led the league in walks over that span and was 4th led the league as in had most of them and had a 2.74 ERA, which was behind only Bob Gibson, Seaver, and Marichal. He received Cy Young votes in only one of those 6 seasons, this one, 1970. And his average year over that span was 260 innings pitched with a 2.74 ERA and 275 strikeouts. Why did he not get more credit? Probably because Cleveland was an also-ran that didn't matter. Finishes in those 6 seasons, 5th, 5th, 8th, 3rd, 6th, and 5th. So that was important back in the day in a way that it's not quite as important now, and he didn't get the credit he deserved. So as sad as I am to knock on old Jim Perry's door, because you know what it also does? It's not fair, because I'm sure Jim Perry's had to deal with this in his career. He probably, to some extent, lived in the shadow of his younger brother, right?
Sure.
Which is a weird spot to be when your brothers, you're at or near the top of the sport, and for yourself, and then your brother comes along and is a Hall of Famer and a 2-time Cy Young Award winner, and you've got your Cy Young, and then some guy named Justin knocks on your door and says, "Give that back." And according to Baseball Reference, at least, I believe Jim Perry is still alive. So it's with some sadness that I'm going to take away Jim Perry's Cy Young and award it to Sudden Sam.
Wow.
Sam McDowell.
Good for him. Good for Sam.
Hang in there, Jim.
Yeah, is Sam still with us?
Unfortunately.
No.
Yes, he is.
Oh,
Whoa, hey.
Oh!
Wow, Jay.
No, he's still 82 years old. He's actually younger than old Jim,
Oh, God bless him.
who's 89.
There you go.
What are we doing next week?
Next week, Justin Havens, you will be looking at the 19. Have you done 1997?
I don't think so.
The 1997.
How good can you be? MVP.
Well, this is, I mean, I know you know who won the 1997 AL MVP. It's the kid, Ken Griffey Jr., and you got Larry Walker in the NL.
Oh,
Blake
Oh,
these
These
are some monster seasons.
I feel like Larry's going to be hearing a
Slam
lot
dunk.
about. Yeah, well, we'll see.
You think Larry's going to be hearing a lot about what?
Ballpark factors.
Well, we're definitely going to have to talk about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's going to mean that it just goes away, though.
Well, I mean,
because the man did hit goddamn 366 with a 1.172 OPS.
Yeah, like what was Aaron Judge's OPS this year?
I mean, it was about, I want to say it was lower than that. I mean, adjusted OPS. I mean, see, that's
178 OPS plus.
yeah. Judge's was over 200.
Yeah. We're talking 46 doubles,
That's why that stat
49
helps,
homers, 409 total bases. He slugged 720.
I mean, what it is, this doesn't matter for the MVP conversation, but for people who like to play fantasy, it's one of the great fantasy seasons from that era. I would imagine as well, with the combination of steals and counting stats and batting average and stuff like that. Like, it was just a monster season. 409 total bases. Yeah, it's going to be hard to rip it out from him. I'm not saying I'm going to by any means, but it's going to be hard to do that. But there are also some other monster seasons that were going on at the time, as you can imagine, in 1997.
Yeah. Almost a 10-win season for Larry Walker that year, 97. Because he was a great defender, too.
Yeah.
Craig Biggio right behind him.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yep.
I love some steroid era discourse, especially
yeah.
for guys that we don't know were linked to it or took it.
Yep.
You know, I mean, he was.
Well, it's fun to talk about those numbers too.
Enhancing ballpark, but yeah, I don't see anyone else putting up fucking an 1172 OPS at Coors.
No, and it's also just fun to talk about an MVP debate where there was a guy who hit 372 and finished sixth.
Yeah.
Like Tony Gwynn hit 372, finished sixth.
Mm.
Barry Bonds had a 446 on base percentage, finished fifth. Like, it's just fucking crazy.
Would you say 446?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Galarraga, if you like RBIs, Big Cat had 140 RBI, finished seventh in the voting. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. That's just
all
the
right.
NL.
Next week, 1997 American League MVP revisited. That'll probably that'll be up the alley of a lot of our listeners. You know, a lot of our listeners, that was their you know, I feel like a lot of people that have like gotten back into baseball recently, they'll look back on the 90s very fondly, being like, that's when I was the most into it. I've just recently got back into it, but the 90s, they speak to me. Well, this is that Thursday episode's the episode for you guys.
No doubt.
Very excited for that. Jay Hay will do it justice as he always does. Any final thoughts? What's going on your TikTok, Joseph?
We haven't made a TikTok in a long time.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Just because of the holidays and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
If you want it, like, you want me to go over a TikTok story,
maybe you can tease one that maybe isn't out yet.
I don't know. Oh, we got a ton of TikToks. I mean, did you see the jersey that just got sold for like $4,000? The Earl Weaver jersey. I don't know if we posted that yet.
Mm-mm.
But it's pretty funny because Earl Weaver had like all his uniforms were custom made, that they had a secret cigarette compartment in them.
What?
Right on the chest.
They had a chest patch where he could stick his pack of cigarettes. They just had a sleeve sewn in.
Yeah, because, you know, they banned smoking cigs in the dugout because, you know, how this country's turned into fucking bullshit. You know, whatever, personal freedoms aren't a thing anymore, so you can't even fucking rip darts in the dugout anymore.
Yeah.
Earl Weaver was born in a time where that was okay. You know, you get to a certain age, now they're telling you, you know, you helped build this country, and he's part of the greatest generation, I'm assuming, that old fuck. So, and, you know, to tell a guy like that he can't smoke in the dugout, pretty rude. But they told him that. So, but he had like a little secret compartment as all his uniforms. And now they're selling for like $4,000 each, which, to be honest, kind of seems low. I thought an Earl Weaver jersey would be $4,000 on its own, on top of the secret cigarette compartment, which is a one of one. I don't think any other player that I know of or manager had a secret cigarette compartment, but he had them. So if you're looking for maybe a Christmas gift for next year, try to cop an Earl Weaver cigarette jersey.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. I bet you Yoenis Cespedes would have loved a secret cigarette compartment in his jersey.
Hell yeah. Ha-Sang Kim?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these guys like darts. Now they're just zinning in there. You know, we don't even have the research long term what zins do to your gums. And all these players are popping zins, think they're healthy.
I mean, didn't you just throw one in the upper lip about 13 minutes ago?
Yeah, well, don't do as I say, not as I do. See, like, we don't know with the research on zins. We know pretty clearly what's going to happen to you if you smoke cigarettes. So, like, that's kind of going the safe route. I'd rather go the safe route.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you sign up for, you smoking jacks. If you start popping zins like it's nothing, who knows? It could be 10 times worse. We don't know. We don't have the long-term research.
Yeah, that's true.
Do what Earl Weaver did. Go buy a pack of cigarettes. I know a lot of people are listening to this driving home from work or somewhere. If you're driving right now, put in your GPS, closest gas station, closest 7-Eleven, buy some fucking cigarettes and start smoking them. That's how Earl Weaver made the Hall of Fame. I mean, come on.
It's true. You're not lying. You're not lying.
I want you to upload a photo of the cigarettes that you buy and send it to me.
Yeah, Cigs for Joe. Hashtag Cigs for Joe. Jay, hey, any final thoughts?
No.
Just get better soon. We need you back on your feet.
Yep,
This man's
ready to
been
get
fighting
better
for his life. Yeah, get better soon.
Thanks.
Dallas, any final thoughts today?
Yeah. Rest in peace, Lenny Randle. For those of you who don't know, one of the greatest displays of fuck around and find out on a baseball field. Lenny Randle, while with the Texas Rangers, you've seen the highlight. It's played 1,000 times. There may have been an issue with a slide at second base, and Lenny Randle steps up to the plate. Milt Wilcox, I believe it was, on the mound, throws a pitch behind Lenny. But Lenny did not like that. So Lenny, being a left-hander, drag bunted down the first base line. And as Milt ran up to field that baseball, Lenny Randle absolutely fucking flattened him. Just let it fly. Just drilled him. One of the many highlights of his career. He's also the dude who, if you remember the highlight of a ball getting blown foul down the third baseline, the defender comes in on all fours. That's him. He's been dubbed the most interesting man in the world, or the most interesting man in baseball. I think during his playing time, I read, spoke 5 languages. There's a lot going on with Lenny, but in his passing, I think it was a highlight that I saw. So rest in peace, Lenny. Thank you for providing one of the all-time moments between pitcher and hitter.
Rest in peace, Lenny. We'll be back on Monday. Of course, if there's any breaking news, which, let's face it, there could be, maybe, in between episodes, with any free agents. Doesn't feel like there's any trades that are on the horizon, but Bregman, Santander, guys like that, they could. Is Santander emergency pod worthy? I don't think so.
No.
I feel like Bregman's the only one left.
Well, and Sasaki.
And Sasaki. Yeah.
What about Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Clayton Kershaw?
You think we could get Ben on for the emergency JV one?
Listen, man, he ain't coming on for cheap. I mean, if we, start a GoFundMe, maybe we crowdsource, hit the Discord out.
I would like that. Dallas.
I'm sure you would.
I'm just, hey, choose kindness in 2025.
Is that what we're doing?
Yep. Choose kindness. That's the message that we're going to leave you with here today. We'll be back on Monday. Everyone enjoy your weekend. If there's an emergency podcast that's going to drop, then be on the lookout for that for a few hours after the news breaks. If not, we'll see you right back here for some more Baseball is Dead on Monday.
Wow.